So let's talk about the Virgos and how they relate with every sign. So let's start off with the Virgos and their fellow Earth signs. Start with the Virgo and another Virgo. So two Virgos together will relate very well together, of course, because they're the same sign. They're gonna have similar actions and go about doing things in similar ways. But where they will be a little, where they will struggle at is really when it comes down to love. All right, if it's a serious relationship, then they may struggle because Virgos just struggle with love, not really in anything in particular with another Virgo. They just struggle with love, period. So when it comes down to being friends and just know each other, they're gonna get along and be compatible. When it comes down to a serious relationship, that's where two Virgos will struggle. Next, we got the Capricorns. Now, Virgos also relate very well with the Capricorns, especially when it comes down to the career field or whatever work or service they got going on together. This is where they relate very well. Where they don't relate well is kind of like a Virgo and another Virgo when it comes to serious relationships, because Capricorns aren't really strong in that area when it comes to love and relationships. So this is where they may have some friction, but when it comes down to like being business partners and working towards something together, Virgos and Capricorns get along great. All right, they're both super hard workers. And the other fellow Earth sign, the Tauruses, also get along fairly well with the Virgos, being very laid back, reserved people as well. But they don't get along with the Virgos as much as the Virgos get along with the Capricorns, mainly because how to go about doing things. Virgos are very much anxious people that are very serious about their work ethic, while Taurus are very much um, calm, cool, and collected people that really do things in a comfortable way. All right, they're not very serious and as anxious as the Virgos, so they may have a lot of friction when it comes to how to get things done. All right, so this is where the Virgos work better with the Capricorn. So when it's all said and done, Virgos really get along best with themselves, Capricorns, and then the Tauruses. All right, but that is how the Virgos get along with their fellow Earth signs. Okay, so let's move on to the air signs. Now, Virgos will get along pretty good with the air signs, being people that like information as well. Air signs are definitely the people that come with a lot of information. So let's start with the Virgos and the Libras. Virgos and Libras are going to get along actually very well because the Libras are very much big on just dealing with people one-on-one. They're very good with relationships as well. So they could really help out the Virgos where they're weak at, right? They're very just serious people as well, just like the Virgos, and they're very much serious about having like routines and just being organized people. And the Virgos really appreciate things like that because that's what they're all about, having strong routines and good habits. So Libras and Virgos get along very well, right? They make a great 1-2 punch, all right? So that's probably one of the best relationships or people for the Virgos to relate to. Next, we got the Aquariuses, who will also get along very well with the Virgos, being some of the two intellectual signs. So they mainly will deal with each other on an intellectual basis. So when they're trying to learn something or get trying to figure something out, or just really just trying to understand or just work together on building something because they have similar work ethic. All right, this is where the Virgo and Aquariuses really get along at. Where they may have some friction is if the Aquarius just wants to rebel from something just because of how they feel about it. Where Virgos really need an actual reason because they're very analytical people. So if they don't see nothing wrong with it, then they're not gonna rebel like an Aquarius will. So this way they may have some friction, but overall they're gonna work well together because they got great work ethic and they're very they can be two very serious people when it comes to down to work and getting things done. Last air sign we got is the Gemini. Now, the Gemini also get along very well with the Virgo, mainly because they're ruled by the same planet. Well, also, these are two people that really have a strong need to get information, right? Whatever information they need to supplement or help whatever they're learning or whatever they're trying to understand or whatever they're working on, they're going to get that information, right? These people are very big on that. They're gonna want the same things. So this is where they relate very well with each other, where they may have some friction, just understand how they go about doing things. And it's really a maturity level for these two, right? Gemini just may be a little too playful for the Virgo. So if that could be tolerated or understood by the Virgos, then they're gonna get along great. It just really comes down to the maturity level for these two. But overall, Virgos get along great with air signs and the Geminis. Really, it's a toss up between Gemini and Libra who they get along best with, but Aquarius will definitely be last. All right, so that's how the the Virgos get along with all the air signs. Now we got Virgos and water signs. Now Virgos can get along fairly well with water signs because water signs can be very laid back and reserved as well. But let's talk about it. Starting with the Virgos and the Cancer. A Virgo can relate very well with a Cancer, mainly because Cancer could be very private people as well and keep things in the house, which Virgos appreciate. So they will get along very well when it comes to just doing stuff in house or just private relationships type of deal, or just close friends that just aren't extroverted type of people. But outside of that, where they may have some friction is where as if the Cancer just may just be too sensitive or just care about unnecessary things, where the Virgo may not may analyze them and not see a problem with that situation, or may not care too much about whatever the Cancer cares about, right? So that's where they may have some friction when it comes to how much they care about things. Next water sign we got is the Scorpio. Now, unless the Virgo has a lot in common with the Scorpio, they probably wouldn't get along too well just because of their energies. But if they both wanted the same thing, had the same goal, and it was working towards that together, then this is where they would get along very well. But outside of that, their energies wouldn't really mix on a friendship level, maybe on a relationship level, where the Scorpio was the leader and the Virgo trusted the Scorpio to lead them, and that's really where it will work very well. Next and last water sign is the Pisces. Now the Pisces do have opposing energies with the Virgos, so unless these two are very balanced people, then they will have trouble relating with each other. If the Pisces are just too imaginative and just too like dreamlike, and if the Virgos are just way too analytical and just too observant and detail oriented, then they wouldn't work well with each other, because they will have to find a balance and understanding of how the other operates in order for them to have a good relationship or relate well with each other. But if they do find that balance, then these two will make a good 1-2 punch, all right, a good duo, all right. But outside that, Virgos relate best probably with the Cancer, then the Pisces, and the Scorpio last, and that's how they relate with the water signs. Next, we got the fire signs. Now, Virgos may not do too well with the fire signs unless they could take the heat or manage the flames. But let's talk about it. Start with the Virgos and Sagittariuses. A Virgo will get along okay with a Sagittarius if the whatever the Sag preaches and teaches about is similar to the whatever the Virgo is trying to learn or get information from. All right, so this will probably be the one of those relationships where if the Virgo was learning from the Sagittarius, then that's when it will work well. But outside of that, the Virgo may just be a little too free spirited and too spiritual for the Virgo, who is very much analytical and more doctrine like type of person. Next, we got an Aries. Now, the Aries and the Virgo probably wouldn't get along too well unless they have similar passions. So kind of like how the Virgos got along with the Scorpio, similar. If it's an Aries male and a Virgo female, with a Virgo trusted the Aries for their protection and leadership, then yes. But outside of that, probably not, unless they have similar passions. They won't work well with each other. Not at all. Next and last fire sign, we got the Leos. Now, Leos actually get along fairly well with the Virgos due to Leos being so big on just giving love and acceptance. That's like a lifelong search for the Virgos. That's why they work to perfection at things, all right? They're looking for love and the things that they do. So they get along very well with the Leos when it comes to that. If they have similar things that they're interested in, they get along very well. Where they don't get along is if the Virgos too analytical, may come off like a hater to the Leo, right? So that's where they may have some friction. But outside of that, they're pretty decent together. So they probably get along best with the Leos, then the Sag, and last the Aries. And that wraps it up. Peace.